Most people worry about stock market ups and downs, but the quiet killer in retirement is inflation. Today, I want to show you with one simple chart how inflation erodes the buying power of just $1,000 over time and what that means for your long term plan. On this chart, we start with $1,000 in today's dollars. Across the top, you see different inflation rates. We got 2%, 3, 5, 7. We got a bunch of different inflation rates. Down the left side, you see the number of years in the future. We got 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way out to 50 years in the future. Every number in the grid answers one question. What is the buying power of $1,000 in the future after inflation affects it for the X number of years? So I'm going to look at a few different scenarios here. We're going to look at 2% inflation, which is the Fed's long-term goal. And then we're going to look at 3%, 5%, and then we're going to look at a higher number like 7%, which we saw inflation average during the 1970s and early 1980s. So first, at 10 years, you can see 2% inflation. $1,000 of buying power would be $817. At 3%, it would be $737. 5%, it would be about $600. And at 7%, it'd be at $483. So we can see if we have high inflation numbers, it can erode buying power pretty quick, even just in a decade. But if we look at it in terms of a full retirement, a 20 to 30 year retirement, at 30 years, that 2% inflation rate, that $1,000 turns into $545 of buying power. At 3%, it's $400. At 5%, it's $214. And at 7%, it's $113, right? That's why someone can retire what they feel like is a big bucket today, but after 15, 20 years, it feels like they don't have quite enough. And then for the younger investor like me who goes into the compound interest calculators and figures out how they can get to $1 million, well, over a 50-year time horizon, that $1 million might not be as much as you think. Just at a 2% inflation rate, $1,000 now has $365 worth of buying power. At 3% inflation, it's $218. At 5% inflation, it's $76. And at 7% inflation, it's $26 worth of buying power. So the headline number on the calculator is not the whole story. You have to adjust for inflation to see the real picture when you're going to those compound interest calculators. So inflation is always working in the background, whether you plan for it or not. As you think about your own savings, don't just ask, what number will I have? Ask, what will that number actually buy in the future? Even a simple exercise like this chart can completely change how you think about saving, investing, and preparing for your retirement. Thank you.